Namaskaram. Greetings. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? That's good to hear. Yeah, just to wrap up on the topic of Satan, AI, and human evolution, you know, we could say that I talked about this in another previous video, but I'll just go over it again that in the future, Satan would love to use this technology of AI to enslave humanity. You know, where humanity thinks it's progressing, through better science and technology, but we're actually being enslaved by that science and technology. We're living in a futuristic world, but we're no happier than we are right now, or actually we're less happier, and we probably have worse, um, climate and atmosphere, and we probably have a worse health and our mental health and all the rest. But we'll have like futuristic world, outside world. We'll have like floating cars, and we'll have everything at demand at our fingertips. But we'll still be peasants. We still wouldn't have moved on. Satan would still be in control of us. We'll still be capitalizing off our our disadvantages and our weaknesses and our sufferings. And so it'd be like a futuristic dystopia, like the Blade Runner movie. We have all this modern progression, and people say, yes, we've progressed, look, we have flying cars and all the rest, but really humanity is really enslaving itself, through itself. But Satan is in control, and Satan uses his control through the five topics that we talked about, that it indoctrinates our young children into, and our parents then are indoctrinated to tell to tell their children, to be successful, you have to have a business, and you should have money. If you're wealthy, you'll do well, you'll do good, and even a power and dominance and all of these things. These are all a myth, and these are all falsities, because the people that have these now in this world, they're no better than you or I. They breathe the same air, they walk the same, they have the same clothes as we do, they talk the same as us, they see the same as us, they hear the same as us, they're exactly the same. I would say they're probably at a disadvantage because they have more clutter in their lives, they have more attachments, and they have this thing called power, which is satanic, because if they're not using it, to benefit their fellow man, to benefit humanity, to help their fellow man, really they're just using it for satanic purposes, for their own selfish self. Like hoarding like billions of wealth. And I'll just turn this thing off here. Phew, that gave me a shock. Yes, so it's a very mixed up world. There's billionaires and millionaires are say they're philanthropists. They do good things. They hide behind the cover of do-gooders. Satan hides under religion to deceive people, to use it as a kind of a hiding place, a haven place. And when it gets found out by humanity, things change, but humanity never gets to grip at the source of the problem. It's like we're always stuck in a loop, and we're always rehashing the same old story throughout history, the same old wars, the same old promises by presidents and governments. More jobs, more wealth. This will be good for our country, and all the rest. But really, are they just seeing the people of their country, of their nation, as they're animals, to enslave them, so they can have their power, their satanic power, and do what they want with their dominance. Do they really care for the people of their nation, or are they just looking after them as their ownership? This is good for our nation. We own these people. We look after you and all that. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't think that. Really don't think they care. And that's been just being honest. I really don't think they care. I think they're in it for themselves. I think you know everyone that's in power in these systems, I think there's a kind of like a narcissist kind of side to them, or there is psychopathic side to them. For them to be successful in their position of power. Because the average person, if his business mind isn't, or his intellect mind isn't orientated, to a certain way, he won't be successful, will he? He won't be in power, and that would mean that the conditioning, Satan conditions humanity, the conditioning of humanity, um, by making us become a certain way. So it's like culling humanity over thousands of millennia to who we are now. Highly intelligent, intellectual creatures, but severely, disabled, severely, ignorant, unconscious, but molded and shaped, you know, through our DNA to be, business people, to how to dominate, how to take as much out of our fellow man as we can, so we can reach the top, get there before anyone else does, kind of thing. A dog eat dog world, the business world, the corporate world, the power world, um, and this is what Satan does. He hits his little bell and he says, "Come on, little human beings, I have power here for you, and dominance and wealth and money, and all these things, attachments and greed, and all the human beings, all the humanity keeps following that line. Not everyone in humanity. There are spiritual people out there and spiritual leaders that don't, and Satan doesn't like these people. Satan, it doesn't give any acknowledgement. He tries to take them down, and he does this by infiltrating people's minds, by attacking spiritual movements like the Ishka Foundation, for instance, or Saguru himself. Would be attacked by other people. I heard he got death threats, and from all the good things that spiritual people do for mankind, and all the charities they set up, and for the well-being of the planet and everyone and everything else. This is just proof in itself that Satan controls human beings, but so he controls human beings against themselves as well. And Satan wants us to fight with each other, and he wants to distract us, to basically take our attention away from us, our consciousness away from us, so we can't think independently for ourselves anymore. So we don't question things. Our cognitive ability is very orientated towards serving the intellect, which means molded to serve business, basically. So that's basically how the world is structured and run, and that we call it in the light movement is the old world. And we see like that governments now are using, they're still conditioned, and people are still conditioned to think in the old world paradigm. So any technology or any breakthroughs that happen, such as an AI, it's either used for the military, or it's used for selling us stuff, or it's used for spying on people, or for business, or to have more control or more dominance. All of these are old world paradigms, and if we just use AI towards these old world paradigms, you will see that humanity won't really benefit from AI. It will be more deceived. It'll be more enslaved, and to Satan, because we won't know what truth is, and we will be so powerless, and that in itself would be a really bad shame for humanity, because it would mean that this planet itself would be downgraded, It'd be downgraded to a kind of an inferior planet, but superior technology. There's loads of, I'm sure there's plenty of planets in this cosmos that have human life on them, or life like similar to our own in this universe. That actually have better technology than we have. But their well-being or their quality of life, or the realization is very low. They're inferior. Their spiritual health is very low, or they have no spiritual health, becoming very logical creatures, or intellectual ignoramuses, you could call them. Intelligent but very ignorant at the same time. So, would like to see people be empowered by AI, even if it means liberating people, where, the world has changed, the world has moved on, above and beyond survival. And instead of like controlling the world with, media and news about, talks from politicians and, wars and stuff like that, that could all be orchestrated to take our attention from us and to control us and to manipulate us. And the thing about it is, in the AI in the future, which is just this year and a couple of years from now, we human beings won't be able to distinguish, untruth from truth, because AI will be so realistic and be so real that we cannot tell. So, if we cannot tell, that means that we can be manipulated, controlled, and abused, for satanic reasons by these individuals in higher up in the power structures, as it were. And they'll be using instruments of humanity against us, like possibly the justice system, the education system, authority systems, so to keep us unconscious, to keep us ignorant, to keep us asleep, because that serves them, that serves their position, and really they're doing a big misjustice for humanity when they do that. And I believe that they'll have to suffer tremendously for that and pay a lot of karma for that, because that will give a lot of suffering to a lot of people. So it's a bad deal, when human beings use AI or technology, or try to manipulate religion, for their own self-interests, for their own self-gravy train, for their own elite, they're getting a bad deal, because they've been fooled. They've been, tricked by Satan. Satan is basically running them. They are not running themselves. Now, they'll argue against that, but the thing about it is, the human intellect is basically the ego, and the ego is what Satan uses to control humans, our minds, and that's why a lot of people are conditioned, and they don't understand the world. They think this is the world, this is reality, this is what life is. They think this is what life is all about, and that's a very sad reality. When humanity can be, a million times better than what it is right now. And we like to see AI being given to people and empower people, to help them, prosper, but not on a mechanical, economical level of more money, more jobs, more material, more possessions, more holidays, as such, but to empower human beings to do great, innovative, ingenious things for themselves and their family, to have a high quality of life, but even to have less than what we have now, but to have more, in terms of good dharma, karma, good karma, so they're feel fulfilled, and they feel like they're actually living their life rather than just being enslaved by Satan. So that's basically just what I want to cover there. That Satan uses these 5 areas, which is power, wealth or greed, money, control, dominance, and ownership. And that's what we're told and indoctrinated, conditioned with in the education system that these are success. So Satan has really infiltrated our systems, all of our systems, and our minds, and we have to be vigilant and be aware of that. But if we're spiritually, unaware, if we have no spiritual technology or science, or we're spiritually, blind, basically we're just running off our ego and running off our intellect, and that gives us a huge disadvantage, because we don't have the ability to see truth anymore, and we don't have the human virtues of the human spirit, like compassion, forgiveness, even mercy, understanding, love, all these higher qualities that makes us unique and special. They will become forgotten in the future. It'll be all about me, what can I do, and how can I what can I get out of my fellow man, rather than what can I give to my fellow man or give to humanity. What can I get out of this situation? And this will make a very kind of a downgraded humanity, where we won't be living to our full potential, and we'll just be enslaved ever more to technology, and we'll have the same problems, and we'll be complaining about the same issues and the same problems that we are now in the future. 100 years from now, we'll have the same things we'll be complaining about, the same wars going on, the same injustices and human rights and abuses and wars and diseases and all the rest, and it'll all make the headlines in the papers and the news, and it'll keep humanity asleep. And this is what Satan wants. He wants total control and humanity to be asleep, so they don't know the difference between reality and unreality, truth and untruth. But spirituality is that guiding light that can show the way and show humanity truth, and show you as an individual person a direct experience of truth for yourself, and that's my biggest advice to you, dear viewers out there, is to be aware of the spiritual technology and science that the government doesn't want us to know about, the business people don't certainly want us to know about, because if we did, we won't be buying their stuff, we won't be enslaved to them as much as we are right now, and we won't be brainwashed so easily and manipulated so easily, if we had those spiritual technologies, and we harness them for our well-being. So that's why it could be a satanic world. It's a real possibility that this is a satanic world, and it could be run by Satan for that reason alone, where Satan doesn't want to push us any further, because he knows that it could change humanity. He wants to just kind of keep on feeding us enough breadcrumbs or enough peanuts, just to keep his gravy train running smoothly through humanity. And this is a bad deal for humanity. When humanity talks about more jobs and the economy and what's good for Europe and what's good for America and all this kind of nonsense from other countries, and people don't know what to believe in anymore, and it desecrates the human potential and the human heart for reality, and to be more and to aspire to great things. So the light movement is that guiding light, that is that place, that spiritual grounding, where we're here to educate people on truth and untruth, how it works, on the spiritual technologies and and science that can help us see truth, because we're entering a very dark world now with AI, where we'll have AI will become like we just obey it, and it's used against us, to read our thoughts, our psychology of our decision making, at the benefit of others, but we cannot see because we're blind to it, because we cannot see experience for ourselves. So, you know, it takes away humanity's true potential, and it downgrades humanity, and the light movement tries to, bring this message to people, that most or all the dark things that happen in this world is due to Satan's, infiltration in our minds, in our systems, and that reflects out into the outside world. You could say, manifests into dark manifestation, disease, corruption, and crime, suffering in the mind, suffering of the body. All of these things can be reduced, when we invest in good conscious systems of authorities, like good conscious justice systems and good conscious, things. But in the future, Satan will mimic these things, and he will lie about these things, and he will actually speak, so well about it that it will feel like it's profound. But how will we know if it's true or not? It's just manipulating our minds. So humanity has got to have, it's got to investigate spirituality to see truth for itself. Otherwise, we won't be able to believe our minds, will we? Like, I don't think I can believe my mind, because, our thoughts are not real. We think we are our thoughts, but we're not our thoughts. That is just a thought, so, we have to, be aware, of ourselves, to know ourselves, a bit better. And I know it's not easy. Sometimes it can be hard. The whole world can be against you. Your parents, your friends, everyone in society, your workmates, and they'll all be steering you down the satanic path. But you always know in your heart, you always feel in your consciousness that there's something not right. There's something you're lacking or missing. And when you do a bit of spirituality, you might just find that inner light within you start to open up, and you can taste a direct experience of truth for yourself and reality, and become, come and have peace and joy and a happier, fulfilling life. So that's an experience of truth itself, by experiencing it through your life, rather than through thoughts. Because thoughts, what we see, what we think, everything is manipulated, and in the future could be more manipulated and even simulated completely. Where we cannot distinguish the difference. So that's why spirituality is important, to protect us from, dark infiltration, and to stop dark infiltration, and to help, repair and heal and recover from, that dark manifestation, from the dark infiltration of people's minds and our systems, as such. So, we have to ask the question, really, the old world paradigm, the old world economy, is it satanic? And is there people in place, in power, that are just, doing it unknowingly or knowingly, where, they want it to be this way, where humanity never, gets liberated. They want us to become conscious and ignorant, and to never know the truth, and to never have values, never to have, the human, benefits of spirituality, and the values of spirituality, of the human spirit, of the heart, of consciousness, because they see it like as, making people independent, from their model, their satanic models of, that are fear based, and that are, that are of the deception of success, So I will leave you with this, to ponder more and to think about yourself. Even to think about it is, we have to question our thoughts. Our consciousness is like, our consciousness, our intuition, something that feels right, is of the light, is of God. It's the light side of duality. But our thoughts, we have to kind of observe our thoughts. Are our thoughts from hell? Are they of Satan? or do they go against us? Do they make us miserable? Do they make us depressed? Do they give us anxiety? Do they make us go to war and all this? So Satan can infiltrate our minds as well, but we have to, if we don't have spirituality, we'll never have a door open to God and have all the good things that we always wanted, like joy and happiness and peace and love and prosperity and evolution. If we had no spirituality, we would just have this side, which is the mind, the intelligent, mind of the intellect, of the ego consciousness, and humanity will just be basically just trying to get by and surviving, struggling with survival always in this. Imagine human beings will still be surviving the next 1,000 years. We'll be driving futuristic cars, we'll have free energy, we'll have cars that fly in the air, gravitate. We'll have skyscrapers, that are floating in the sky. We'll have all of these things, but we won't be happy. We'll still be enslaved to Satan consciousness. We'll still never reach our potential or be realized, because we will still be in our thoughts, which Satan is basically would be 100% in control of. I'm sure there's other humanities that have been complete failures in this cosmos, of humanities that have been on this planet before us that have unfortunately degenerated and involuted, and are we going to let this happen to our humanity? So this is my word to the people out there that if we didn't have spirituality, if we had that taken away from us, most of the good things that you see today we won't have. We'll be in a hellish world. Forget about forgiveness and compassion and mindfulness and courtesy and the human heart, the human values, the human spirit, the good word, even the good word itself. Even what we see and think will all be of same consciousness. And if spirituality is taken away from us, which I'm sure happened in many civilizations before us, that means that Satan is in control of mankind, and meaning that there's no one on the planet that's really in control, because they will be played by Satan also. They will be tricked and deceived because of promises and desires and all the rest. So what future do we want, people? I think if we used spirituality and AI together, it could do great things for humanity, and fix a lot of our dark manifestations that human beings have created, like climate change, soil quality and all the rest. And when people do spirituality, they're of a different quality. They generally don't lie. They want to serve other people. They don't really see money as the end all and be all. They're not really power hungry. They don't want to dominate people. They want to give. They want to help humanity, but they also want to be joyful, loving beings that liberate themselves. To higher beings. And I think that is a great direction for humanity to take on, and it's a direction of truth, and that's what the light movement is about. It's about going in that direction to serve humanity. To teach the spiritual science, of yoga, genuine yoga, and self-knowledge, and all of these things to help humanity see the truth, so they can have a direct experience of the truth themselves, rather than being spoon-fed the truth, in our education systems, and indoctrinated a bit, or have religious dogmas and old beliefs that are quite, hellish, and on the planet, and very destructive, and do a lot of harm to people, to our minds, that make us suffer, that gives us fear and all the rest. So that's evolution for humanity. There's humanity can evolve in two ways. It can evolve the spiritual way, or it could evolve the satanic way. And the satanic way is the old world, the old economy, and the spiritual way is a way of upright living, better quality of life. Doesn't mean you have to be, you know, religious person or spirit or doing spiritual practices. You'll be actually living your own dharma, your own good karma. You'll be living the spiritual existence as a life. So it'll become natural. Spirituality will become natural to you. You know, you'll be naturally forgiving. You'll be naturally pleasant. You'll be naturally peaceful. You'll be naturally helpful. You know, and all these good values that humanity could strive for. You know, rather than the old world system that's, you know, culling, you know, these people that, you know, because they don't fit into society, you know, like culling them, not like taking away their human rights and their free speech, and you know their and just basically taking away their power, you know. But that's not real power, you know. True power, you know, is something that doesn't require wealth or doesn't require position. The people just can sense it. They just love that person like a spiritual leader, you know, because they can feel and know and they experience the truth of what, you know, that spiritual leader was talking about. And that's why you see a lot of people, you know, around spiritual leaders today, you know, in movements and stuff, that, you know, they worship them, you know, they do anything for them, they volunteer towards them and everything. But you don't see people doing that to, you know, politicians or people in power, you know. They kind of just, you know, they don't really have that kind of sense of love. But if you really wanted to be, you know, a really true powerful person, if you serve humanity and your people and your nation, people will naturally love you. And I think that's the future also. So don't think that, you know, it's satanic to be in government, or it's satanic to be in authorities, or it's satanic to be in these systems. No, not at all. I mean, if your heart is in it and you want to change those systems or make them better or serve humanity through those systems, that's brilliant. You know, you could become a great president, a great leader, a great world leader. You can really make changes in our education system, in the justice system, consciously, you know, and bring humanity back into systems and authorities, and make people more conscious, and, you know, make the world a better place. So absolutely, you know, I'm not saying, you know, authorities and governments and systems and all the rest are satanic, you know, but I am saying is they are vulnerable, and, you know, vulnerable to infiltration of dark, or infiltration of Satan, that, you know, we can't see, you know. And if we can't see it, and in the future, you know, if we can't question things and we don't use our own, you know, abilities, you know, we just go along with it, we'll just, you know, coast along and just take it for truth. And, you know, it will just mean that we'll have a very mediocre life, or a very mediocre existence, or a very abused and tragic life as well. People that just get by in the rat race, that just try to, you know, get on top of the other person, or try to take something from their fellow man, their friend, to try to get one ahead, kind of thing. That's satanic. But there are great governments out there, and people in governments that do great wonderful things, and people in the justice system that bring justice to the world, and they do great and wonderful things. There are great people that are in authorities, and they do great and wonderful things for people, and they serve humanity. And, you know, they get great karma, they get great dharma for it, you know. And, you know, they can go home at night and they can get a good night's sleep, they have peace, you know. They wake up in the morning, you know, alive, and, you know, happy and excited about life, you know, and inspired by life, and, you know, they love their job, and the people love them for it, and they make humanity's consciousness grow and expand, and they bring love and joy to the world. They are the type of leaders that the Light Movement is looking for in the future, and people to be in positions of influence that can help, you know, our young people and our next generation to become, you know, the best that they can be, you know. It's where society can be very healthy, spiritually healthy as well, and we can prosper and bring unity to the world, and world peace, and all these things that are within our reach, you know. They're very within our reach, and we have the capabilities, and we have the bright people and the people to do it. But we have to be aware that, you know, satanic systems don't want to, you know, help these type of people, and they want to, you know, go after them and abuse them, and, restrict us and cull a human's evolution to serve its own interests and purposes. So we have to be aware of that also. And Light Mood thinks there's a little bit of that going on in the world at the moment. Where we all want that high paying job, don't we? We all want that career, don't we? We all want that holiday, don't we? We all want that money, don't we? We all want that job, or we all want that power or that dominance or control, don't we? All these satanic things that Satan feeds us, that deceives humanity under the umbrella of success in our education system, is a falsehood, and is very detrimental to humanity and the people that carry out this misjustice or this disservice to humanity. So just wanted to let people aware of how Satan works, how Satan degenerates the human race and downgrades the planet. We have to be aware of that, but we also have to be aware that we have capabilities. We have great, wisdom. We have great science and technology. We have AI. We have great spiritual technology and science. And I think, if people are conscious and do things in the right way and not get, totally, blinded by wealth and greed and power and all of these so-called things of the old world. We don't want to serve the old world paradigm with, all the new technology of the future. Otherwise we'd be living in a kind of like a Blade Runner, future where, people live a very mediocre, very unconscious, mechanical existence, very ignorant existence. People are never realized, their potential is never realized. We're just enslaved, and everyone's enslaved from top to bottom to Satan, and we're just fighting for survival and fighting amongst each other. It's a very satanic world. So we need to be aware that science and technology isn't everything. We can still evolve the human, a being, beyond what we are right now. But our education system and the way we've conditioned ourselves, through no fault of our own, through basically real enforcement and real pressure, for survival, to feed our kids and to, survive in this world. We have been indoctrinated over, thousands of millennia, that this is the way it is, and this is, bred this human race that we are at the moment, where, we lost a lot of good potential that could have been, but we want to, bring that light back to humanity again, and to be that guardian of mankind, and to be that guiding light that we all have an inner light within us, that we all have that particle, that divine being within us all, that is more than what the outside world tells us who we are, and we can really live up to our full dreams and our imagination for a really fulfilling and happy life. Thanks very much for watching this video, everybody. I wish you and your family a lovely afternoon, pleasant thoughts, joy and happiness and bliss and fun. And until next time, au revoir.